The question of what is the meaning of life is arguably the most common philosophical question known to man. We have fought hard and steady to orchestrate our purpose and destiny with much success. Some have lesser degrees of success, while others have greater amounts of it. It's been the long and ancient effort of mankind to elevate itself to the highest possible level of prosperity, spiritually and physically. And while our work has definitely paid us back in evident and not so self-evident ways, one can't help but to question every now and then if their sacrifices are in vain. The reason for this is rather obvious. Every human being is subjected to pain. Sometimes this pain is deserved, as it's a direct result and consequence of our voluntary disobedience to our own moral compass. At other times, this pain can manifest itself by seemingly arbitrary reason. Either way, one thing remains constant, and that is suffering. Suffering might be the most fundamental reality that there is. It could be the basis for how humans developed consciousness, and how other animals have probably done so as well. It is a rare person indeed that would debate the realness of suffering. So how do we battle against this? Some individuals choose the path of hedonism, to live every day as if it was the last, but not out of productive motivation, but motivated by the desire to unabashedly and unrelentingly indulge in the satiation of one's biological reward systems. Variations in personality exist for social cohesion. We wouldn't have them if it was otherwise the case. Some situations will be better suited for a playful and relaxed approach, while others require a dutiful and alert inclination. The direct opposite of pain is pleasure. It's understandable as to why many choose the strategy of optimizing pleasure regardless of its costs when pain is so prevalent. As a form of adaptation to such distress, we may choose to minimize as much suffering as possible. It's difficult to criticize the bearers of agony and tragedy when their circumstances are not in their favor. When someone suffers ignorantly, however, they are to be judged punitively, in accordance to how deep in sin they have dug themselves in. Alternatively, if we love the sinner, we discern between person and action by criticizing the level of inaccuracy with regard to how much they missed the target. The target is that which we value, necessarily composing its structure for a precise definition. Looking into the pursuit of transcending our goal demands the necessary form of adaptation and behavior. This restriction in variables is the essence of decision making. Our experiences are lived through a pervading set of choices, mapping out how the world manifests itself to us. It is under these conditions that a conscious routine for getting to a desired state can proceed. What then should we do about our existence? Considering that life is inherently rife with dread, amplifying this agony would be a horrible method for coping with it. Evil is to voluntarily magnify blindness by continually increasing the rate of hurting and then sharing it broadly. A useful tool for contemplation is to immediately assume responsibility for our shortcomings. We don't always have control over how events in our lives appear to us, whether positive or negative. Therefore, fates can be up to chance when it comes to how they occur. Luck can play a large role when determining how outcomes are realized, albeit we are not exempt from morally acting upon what we know to be right. When we hold the power to change how things are, we carry the responsibility that comes with such possession. Thus, it is especially admirable when someone takes it upon themselves to enact an industrious response to a futile battle. A battle that is fought when there's no possible chance of winning is a delusional act. Having said that, could it be that if we embrace the uphill struggle of an endeavor, that it might alternatively become a tale of meaningful suffering? It's one thing to repeatedly strive towards nowhere in aimless confusion, and another to deliberately choose how we attend to our challenges and attitude. The eventual dissolution of our creations is inevitable, for all will cease to exist at a dramatically long time from the time these words were first composed. One might argue for the inutility of our work when looking at the larger picture, and validly so. Importantly, addressing the disservice, not closely following this line of argumentation, thus to us, can be hardly underestimated. Every one of us is meant to live a life full of resonance, no matter how deeply the emotions are felt. Even if everything has its end, it might be better that it happened rather than if it never did. A small man might only wish to achieve even a fraction of what a bigger man is capable of. Each individual has their limits in potential and actuality in order to be at all. Falling short of what a more capable person can do has terrorized their beings from the dawn of time. Yet it's not exactly enough to us for a talented or not talented individual to stagnate in inactivity. An improperly developed soul is an injustice to the very nature of being. Let us not be tempted by the promises of unconsciousness, of untraveled journeys, under the reasoning of safety precautions. For as long as you live, it is your job to play, hustle, and tussle with the rhythms of the world, aggressive or gentle. Give it everything you've got, for if you don't, then who will? The only thing that the great malevolent spirit needs to carry out its plans are followers willing to participate. Consume delicious foods, engage in romantic relationships, and enjoy material possessions, if you can, all without shame. We owe ourselves the opportunity to live an integral life, even if it will eventually end. Use every moment you get to make something meaningful, and rest assured that you will have few regrets. Deservingly or not, accept whatever life takes you, and willingly redeem the horrors of existence.